was forced to. All right, well, it is 9:30. I heard there was some traffic and we've got pretty low attendance in person. We do have 17 or so online. I'm gonna give it two. If you aren't, if you're not, unmute your mic so we can silence any background noises and things like that. And we'll get started in a couple more minutes. Oh, so.
D'Angelo?
Was it Ortiz?
No, I think Corporal D'Angelo has taken over.
Yeah, but.
Ortiz. Is Ortiz?
What is it again? Yeah. Yeah.
You're probably gonna kill me, but our North County,
Are you back?
I'm back, but then I'm in a different unit. So Sergeant Grissinger,
Yes.
that was my sergeant, he's coming down, so he's on the 10. So
Okay,
you met D'Angelo last month,
yes,
so D'Angelo works for him, so
okay,
he'll be your point of contact.
wonderful. Well, glad you could make it. Yeah, I heard you got re-signed, so.
Yeah.
Congrats.
So, reason you're probably gonna kill me is because our North County unit, I recently saw them, and they gave me a bunch of these that they had.
Oh,
And I
perfect.
have more, a lot more,
Perfect.
and more given her.
Thank you.
I'm gonna give them to you. I can meet you later. I have a lot, like a stack. It's a lot of them.
You don't follow.
Wait a second, but thank you.
But, yeah, let's get together.
Oh, I think it's because I don't have a vest on.
That's true, yeah. So we got them.
But I have 4 bus passes and I have 1 gift cards. They're going to When did you? So they have a stack like this. So
Okay.
I have to go to the office. Well, I can meet you with.
Actually, I think I'm out there this Friday. Well, even listen to this stuff. I'll be there Friday morning if you, with someone else you can leave a bush. Yeah, that's great.
You know, I can probably do the front desk. If not, I'll text you.
Cool, thank you.
Well,
Right. 9:32, let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. Thank you everyone for your patience. Thank you again for those who are online. Please make sure you sign in if you're in person or in the chat if you are virtual. And we will go ahead and get started. You'll go ahead and click through the slides. I'll just go to chat about, let me share the link with somebody who's missing. All right, okay, so we'll move into, I don't think we need to do any introductions necessarily. I feel like you haven't been here in a while. Have you been online?
David Moran.
David Moran, Axel. Okay, so glad you're back. And I'm glad you could join us. And then we'll move into the consent agenda, so.
Yeah, we just have last meetings, notes. Was anyone able to look at them? Any motions?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion from April. Oh, second.
I was asking you.
Oh, I'll make a second.
Yeah.
Arrow, second. All in favor, sorry. Any opposed? All right, we're gonna move on from that. Thank you. And then is TV virtual today or is she running late?
She'll be here in a minute.
Okay, so we'll come back to that. The charter was approved by the COC board and we just wanted to confirm members that had self-identified back in like September. And so we'll come back to that report. So next we'll get into the subcommittees. All right, deployment. That's, Dave, are you online? She was online earlier. Okay.
She is.
Dana, we cannot hear you if you're speaking.
Can't hear me at all?
Yeah, now.
Okay. Sorry. So I did get to answer those questions that you had sent me about the locations being confirmed and the number of incentives. Where am I at? So based on the PIT data table 36 for sheltered and unsheltered comparison, all households, there was 538 people that were unsheltered and 1,325 people that were sheltered. So I just did a 5% increase, and that comes out to roughly almost 2,000 expected surveys for this year. So I think the 2,200 formula that you provided would actually be accurate for total incentives.
Okay, so the HLA have requested deployment to identify how many incentives would be needed. And so the math that deployment subcommittee is 2,200 total incentive. I think we 100 or so identified from PD. That's the new total that would be needed.
Yeah, and then I broke it down even further based on the PIT data for figure 120 for frequent area of stay by municipality and total number of shifts. And then like St. Pete, there's 36 shifts, Clearwater, there's 35, Largo's 13, Wilman is 15, Pinellas Park is 8. I don't have any shifts for Tarpon Springs. I just know the Florida Dream Center is taking care of them. But based on the data that's in the PIT, I have them tagged for, where are they at? 50 incentives. And then Dunedin has 2 shifts. And then I did a 200 for Leo. So that breaks down to St. Pete having 900 incentives, Clearwater 600, Largo 125, Wilman 75, Pinellas Park 50, Tarpon Springs 50, Dunedin 25, Leo 200, and that leaves 175 extra that I wasn't sure if we were providing any of that for the unaccompanied youth.
We'll come back to the unaccompanied youth, what their plan is.
How many of you say we have right now?
It was, I think, 1,200 had been identified, and
Some additional.
then maybe it's potentially 50 or 100 more that law enforcement have that they're getting back.
Did you say 1,200 for law enforcement?
No, the HLA has 1,200 left over from last year.
Okay, yes. There's a reason I thought you said 1,200 for law enforcement.
That's still a deficit of about 1,000 or so incentives, based off those numbers. The other question that was asked last time is about resource cards. If there had been any decision on what kind of resources, or discussion that we want to have here on that.
I don't think so. I think that, well, I mean, we could, but I think that maybe, I don't know if the NOFA would make an impact on that, right? If we wait until we figure out what our COC is actually going to be doing, if that could change anything to where we might not be able to answer that till toward the end of December.
I think the other thing we may want to just have available is have ready to pop in cold night shelter flyer info, because I know a lot of times cold night shelters open like right around that time. So that way, and maybe just send them to the deployment people electronically. So if we need them, we can print some out that morning and send them.
That sounds good. I think there has been a cold night actually the night prior, like on the night of where did you sleep? Last night, there was cold nights open 1 year.
Yeah, it's been a few years, but yeah, there was 1 year.
And I think there was some upcoming, I think in the next day or so.
I think you bring up a really good point. So I don't know if not everyone here may know or online, there's been some significant funding changes coming out from HUD as to how COCs can fund homeless and housing programs. And so our community has is it 71% currently of the 74, thank you, 74% of the current award from HUD is for PSH program or for permanent housing programs. That it needs to be reduced to 30% with the upcoming application. So there's some significant funding changes, and that's a cap. That doesn't mean they'll award the full 30. And so there's been some information the HLA has sent out. If you're not familiar with the National Alliance to End Homelessness, they've been sending out a lot of resources, how it's being impacted nationally. But there'll be some significant changes. That's what Dave was referencing. So that NOFO is going to be live very soon. And information sessions, resources are already out about that, but we are learning as we go as well. So within 24 hours of the government reopening, HUD released its updated information on that. So is there anything else?
Some of the contracts that are in place now for some of those housing programs expire December and January, before the new funding would come. So there may be that.
So cities and counties are looking and other funding sources are all looking at ways to potentially support, but it could impact, I'll say specifically Boley as early as December, January. So that has honestly pulled a lot of us in different directions the last few weeks, and so we appreciate everyone's ongoing patience with that. Okay. Mark, anything else with deployment, Dana?
I don't think so, because the last meeting, I literally, because of everything that was going on with the NOFA, totally was in, to be honest, just straight up crisis, chaotic mode. And the last meeting, I wasn't even on for it. So we need to reschedule that.
We'll up next, so the subcommittee for deployment will be rescheduled. We appreciate everyone's patience with that. Any questions, comments for deployment? Before we move on. And Alicia, I think on my slides have specific points for each subcommittee, if you wouldn't mind looking.
We're just gonna say with the incentives too, today is Giving Tuesday. I know we talked about maybe putting something out on social media.
To be drafted an email.
Okay.
We wanted to find out the actual total, because in that email it has the total that we were requesting. So
Okay.
we're gonna get that out today.
Okay,
To our
will there be
contact.
something like on your HOA page on social media we can share out, like if people. That's an easy way to, click and share if it's on the HOA thing.
You can go to that.
Which is an excellent transition to marketing. Before we go to that, can you actually go back? So Dama, are we able to get a final draft of deployment zones by the 12th? Is that doable? If that's 2 weeks?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, obviously there's some less. That'll help TV plug in the true volunteers need and all of that. Is there any teams that you're missing? Any part of the community that you need contacts on?
I don't think so.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, and let me ask for the zones, are you referring to, because the last time we talked about this, we kind of went back and forth between changing it to zip codes and something else. I can't remember what some sort of overlay with the county maps.
EMS grid. So that is up to your subcommittee, but the HLA and the county are able to support the EMS zone layer. So for everyone else, EMS grid is a grid, it's very much a grid throughout our county, so rather than telling people to go to this intersection, this business to this business, we would basically say, go to this area, but you can also go around to, you know, to these big areas. So I'll use, you know, East Bay Roosevelt US 19, there's all four corners right there, but there's also Operation PAR a little bit to the southeast. So it's actually 4 EMS grids, but you'd be giving 3 or 4 addresses. And so that will just give us a layer on the back end to say, hey, there were 10 surveys completed in that area, rather than a heat map or by zip code or it's county city lines, those kind of get all zigzag all through the county. So it makes a little bit clearer picture. Just to help with deployment, and they'll also help with the layer of like law enforcement, which maybe are going to places that we don't have identified. But that is up to you all, and like I said, BTS, the county, and I think Tony with HLA are prepared to support as they can with that. Marketing.
So the marketing materials have been distributed already, I believe. New members have them. If you don't have them and want them, just let me know. I can send them over to you. Mario and I are working on translating them to Spanish. It's taking a lot longer than I expected, even though the text is mainly the same for so many of the posts. There's like a little bit of the wording that's different in each one, so we're actually just gonna change it and like make them all basically the same for Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, whatever we're doing, or for X. So we're gonna meet it, we met last week and we're gonna meet again this week to kind of finish it out and then get whatever out there for any Spanish speakers. Sophie, who is the preferred intern, she's been doing great and she's connected to USF. So we're trying to see if she knows any like internal student boards or something, because they're always doing like big volunteer efforts. She's gonna try and get the message out there to recruit. And I think that's all we have going on right now. We're just focusing on recruiting. And I think we have about 75 registrants. But yesterday, I didn't check today yet.
Yeah, we are very low on our registrations right now. So HLA has done a email constant contact or whatever platform email. Not seen anything on social media though. I don't know what the impact is for social media though for you all. I've sent my department, and so that's kind of the next phase is to we're incentivizing for our department this year with the dress down week. Some people love that. And so I try to send that out. If you have any other networks, if you're part of Toastmasters or softball league or whatever it might be, please, we are very behind the ball, I will say on that. Largo PD has showed up for y'all, 4 of your officers are already registered, but I know Copeland is going to be sending out a targeted email to all law enforcement contacts, registration, so.
I was gonna ask, who is it, Lizzie St. Pierre that we'd send out for like other volunteers for your area?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, she,
'cause I know, I'm happy to like get supplies to, if there's a group that wants to go back to Pinellas Park, since you guys know the area better, so I can meet up and coordinate with them, if that's an incentive, like that they'll go back to the area. Versus.
Yeah, you can reach out to her, like, Dominique said, so for the law enforcement, I have a venue. I was supposed to send out an email yesterday, but I'm waiting I was wanting to get the confirmation from the people that, I put the venue through, which is gonna be our Public Works Operations Center. And the email I'll send out will show you parking and have the address and times, stuff like that, so that you guys know how to, get there and get in, so.
That'd be for the training and phone app and all that.
Yeah. It'll be, it's the Tuesday before, so it's the January 27th, and it'll be, I have it from 3 to 5, but I mean, we'll see how it's on, it goes till.
It should be wrapped up before 5, hopefully.
I just wanted to be sure. I was like.
So, which he's gonna be including in the link, the registration process. Each officer needs to do it independently. That was the big issue last year. Is that everyone got like registered under one. It is an ArcGIS account, but it is unique to to the HLA's universe or whatever the language is. So your PD ArcGIS. Log in your one from last year or create a new one. But the flow is there. I don't know, Copeland, did you register yet?
No.
No, but I know, like I said, Largo, I saw 4 registrants, and they had it last year too figured out. So you won't have to, and there's a drop down for law enforcement, first responders to try and make it a little bit easier.
Excuse me, Helen has a question.
And yeah, Helen, sorry, your hand's raised. Thank you.
Good morning. I dropped it in the chat too, but I don't know that we ever received the marketing materials. Like I've employees saying they received an email from HLA, but typically we receive marketing materials. I put that all together, send it out on everyone email to all of our employees and post it in places, but I have not received that information.
We'll get it out to the full committee.
Unless I missed it somewhere.
Yeah, you're not on the April. Yeah, you're not on the email for some reason, but we'll send it. TV is gonna resend it. If you just.
There was nobody else
Everyone who
there that
came
they
to
needed
the.
it. Yeah, Kathleen seconded.
And Kathleen as well commented.
Just sent it to both of them.
And yeah, Kathleen, you did receive it.
Oh, yeah, she's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for mentioning that.
I don't think I got it either, so maybe send out to everybody.
Ross.
Thank you.
It was before the holiday. It was right the holiday, all right?
No, we're not on this.
Yeah, it does need to be sent.
I like
All right, I'll mention too, sorry, with our EOC, hurricane season is over. I know you guys all are excited with me, but they sent it all out to their volunteer boards and volunteers active in disaster and all of that as well. So I'm hopeful we'll get a little bit from there. Our county social media will only pretty much only repost. So once y'all post, we'll be able to repost. That's one of the weird things with us, so. Don't be original, I guess, but I think that's it with marketing. Any other questions for marketing? I don't see any hands online. Thank you. Youth outreach. Tom, I know I had to send you the link. Are you online? Are you able to-
Yep, I'm good. Just a little slow today, but I'm catching up. Chuck can't be here today. He's gonna be leading our subcommittee meeting, which is actually tomorrow, December the 3rd at 11 a.m. And I'll be reporting to Chuck basically on what we reported and what I'm hearing from the PIT subcommittee. So our subcommittee members are currently conducting focus groups and interviews with strategic partners. We're gleaning locations to access information on where unhoused youth are. We're also in the process, or our subcommittee members are in the process of recruiting youth volunteers, and we'll be able to update you, Dominique, a lot on this after our meeting tomorrow at 11 a.m. And so we're doing those things and getting ready for the 29th. And then of course, we'll touch base with Damia with the deployment subcommittee after our meeting. So we're making progress, but we'll be able to update you a lot more on the progress after tomorrow.
Perfect. One of the big things that they're trying to decide, I think I mentioned this last, well, is whether they are going to do like a focused event, like they did in years past. Last year, they ended up stepping away from that, but there's been some new that's I think they're making that decision tomorrow. So depending on that, I think the places identified, which have been in the past, are the Family Resources, the Drop-In Center in St. Pete, and then,
Straight for life.
so they're making that decision tomorrow, and then either that will obviously impact deployment, so we're gonna get that information over to you, Dana, with what that outcome is, within the next week, and then any identified locations will also be shared. Any questions for you? All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Blossom in April.
Right, the training stuff has been updated thanks to TV. We appreciate that. We have a meeting today, I believe at 3 o'clock, where we're gonna try to get all the trainers together. On one meeting, see if they have any questions. We already have the dates and everything down. Just trying to figure out if they wanna do more virtual or in person. We're gonna have 2 people training, at both times, and we're gonna do them, between 1:12 and 1:15. Hopefully get them all done. Blossom, am I missing anything? No, she don't.
Blossom, you're muted if you're talking. Do you guys have enough trainers at this time?
I believe we did. I think if we needed like 2 more, we were gonna get them from HLA. But I think we were pretty good on trainers, right, T?
Can you guys hear me now?
The list was good.
Yeah.
Last meeting.
Can, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
I don't know if you guys. Okay. Hi. Yes, sorry, I was having trouble getting off mute. But yeah, I think you covered it all, April. And I heard you say when I was trying to get off mute, Dominique, if we need more trainers. I mean, we are pretty set, but of course, if anyone does want to train, we're trying to do 2-person per training as we have done in previous years. So it would, of course, always be helpful. If someone wants to join, you can put it in the chat or reach out to April and me. And we can add you to a training. That will relieve people from doing 2 trainings too, if someone could only do 1.
But that's it. So, okay.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
All right, survey development. I really feel like we're at a point now where this is pretty much done. The paper survey has, the final draft has been submitted to HLA for editing, also pending HUD changes. Tony, we haven't received those yet, correct? The HUD changes?
Correct. I actually spoke with Imani this morning to check to see if she had heard anything from HUD. Neither of us have gotten anything from HUD yet regarding PIT and the final questions. We don't expect them to make any changes other than changing, obviously, the gender to sex. But until we get a final statement from them, there's nothing we can do at this point. We just kind of wait it out.
If there'd be like a new unique question or something like that as well, but
right. All of a sudden we have a unique question that shows up about income or willing to work or something like that. I could see it happening.
And this is, I feel like we've typically heard from them by now, but again, they just had the longest shutdown. So they're getting back on board. So
right, and they even before the shutdown, they had canceled I think 3 months worth of meetings before the shutdown, and then the shutdown happened, and we've only had 1 meeting with them, and it wasn't one where we could really interact with them very much. It was more of a conversation regarding LSA, and it was only with the Region 4 HUD team, which is going to be the region that Florida is incorporated in for LSA review.
The printing of paper, we will still coordinate that for emergency backup. It'll be less. Beta testing has begun. I did lose my list of original beta testers, but I did create a new list. If you want to be added to that group, I received an email from you in the past week. Let me know. I'm happy to add you. But we have people just testing the app. That's going to kick off this week. I've been doing a bunch of tests and giving feedback over the past week or so. But we just try to get rid of the glitches, spelling, logic problems that might exist. And so we're hoping to have the beta testing and app finalized by Friday. The Spanish translation is still pending. And so we're going to be pulling those out of the beta testers where we're going to translate the app, but also the paper survey. Obviously, the questions might be a little bit different. The guidelines and stuff on how to, what to click. There is translations from years previous, but questions, do evolve. Is that date still good for you, Helen or April, for printing, January 5th? And it looks like 26, I should have put. For being able to have enough time to print?
Be a better question for Helen.
Yeah. I'll reach back out to Helen.
So if HUD doesn't send out.
I'm sorry, I was trying to get on another meeting. I need to hop off this for another meeting, but I heard you ask about the date for printing, but I didn't hear the date.
January 5th.
That should be fine.
You need to move it around, let me know.
I'm sorry, Dominique, I missed that.
We need to move, just let me know.
And how many did we say we were going to print this time?
That's a good question. I think we had settled on like 200. I mean, I'm of the opinion we don't need them, but something always goes awry.
200 seems so like, yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, for 3 sites, so it's like 100, so 50.
Maybe like 50,
Yeah, 150 total.
yeah.
I think that's 150, and then how many supplementals? That's three to a page. 10 per site? Yeah, 30.
I feel like that's about agreed.
All right, it's 180 pages. I think that's pretty doable. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Any questions on survey development, testing? Thank you for the additional people wanting to help us test it.
So when HUD doesn't send out their questions before PIT, do we just go with what we have?
Yes, we're still gonna change the gender sex question, but because that was like October 1st, and then the changes we made internally, yeah. The COC board did not offer any other feedback on that survey, the draft that we gave you all presented last month. We did actually make one change to a question for the employment status. We added a doesn't know or refused to answer because we had only offered answers. We did not leave an opt-out answer option. That's the only modification we made. Well, we are very ahead on schedule, so I'm gonna have open discussion. Is there any? Actually, no, we had a TV. We're gonna go back to TVs because you were a little bit late. So at the very beginning, the charter updates and the confirmation of members.
So the charter was finalized and approved. And members are still getting back to me on whether or not they confirm that they wanted to be, but most of them are folks that are sitting on the, like, their leads of subcommittees. So you guys are already in regardless, if you got back to me or not. Too bad for you. And then, well, I guess there are some that have not, since becoming chairs of a subcommittee, so I'm waiting on those. But Era said yes, Colette said yes, Gary said yes, Sarah said yes. So right now we have about 13 to 14, I guess, depending on Shawnee's, folks that wanted to be on the committee. And I actually had a question that came up yesterday. Can you be on the committee and not a voting member of the committee? Is there a difference, or being on the committee means you contribute to quorum? That's when when I was looking at the charter, because I have it here, it just is unclear to me.
You're a non-voting member. Wouldn't you be classified as a guest?
Thank you, Karen. That's.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between an attendee and a member. And the members would count towards the quorum, and we want everyone to come participate. And we've got 26 online, about 10-15 in the room now. But as far as quorum for voting sake, would have to be more of a core group that is willing to commit to, regular.
Okay, so then the finalized voting member requirements would be the 3 that were on the last charter, and it would be attend at least 1 meeting, have submitted or renewed an organizational or individual COC membership application for the current year, and be elected to an officer position or serve as a lead or serve on a. And the participants are considered guests, like Gary said. So if you're not serving as chair or an officer or on a subcommittee, then you're not contributing to quorum.
Quick question, does quorum require virtual or in person, or are both acceptable?
Both acceptable.
Would you be like email out just the approved charter with those requirements, and maybe that already accepted to see like if you're not on this list and you want to be on the list? Like how do they just? Yes.
Yeah, she did.
She sent them individually to all of us
She
to
sent
say,
it-
do you
oh,
want to
okay.
join?
Yeah. Okay.
To people who had already previously indicated, to those identified seats and positions already, and
Okay.
people who had reported interest in months past.
Okay.
So if there's any additional, we can add, but again, it's just a matter of.
You've been sending all the emails. Not everybody's been reading them all. There were like 4 or 5 people who were like, I didn't get that. You're literally on this chain, my friends. Yeah. So I had to look back and search your name. Did I get? Oh, I did.
Sorry about that.
No. This, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, no question on charter member updates?
Is there anyone here that was not receiving the email that wanted to be a member?
David Moran,
Can you spell your last name?
Moran,
Okay, thank you.
and you can put me on the deployment subcommittee.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
All right, so we're back to open discussion. Any comments, questions? Logistics? All right, it's just like.
I was just gonna say, so for Mid-County this year to Largo City Hall, we are moving sometime in January. So, we will try and have a sign out by the sidewalk at Old City Hall where people used to come in that says, go to the EOC. And I think, we had talked about when we send out that volunteer list, adding the map like we do for the COC meetings, like this building.
That's a good
Same
idea.
address.
Yeah, that's what I.
But we're gonna be in the EOC, which is right behind Largo. So I don't know which building. City Hall will be in.
Is that for sure opening, or could there be a delay? Like, is
What,
that
new City Hall or the EOC?
where you guys are moving?
No, the EOC is staying where it's at.
Okay.
It's the next meeting. I don't know if you've been back there. We have the COC board meeting back there. So same entrance as Largo Police Department, first building on the right. So completely separate building.
Anything else?
You want to maybe get some ideas for. Since we got time. People on brainstorming.
Yeah, so what Era was saying is recruitment, which again is kind of our biggest issue right now. I think getting the materials back out will be helpful. But is there any strategies or commitments you guys can make as an agency for recruitment or anything like that?
When you mentioned other organizations, I thought about like a Park Rotary Club, I can share that out. I didn't think about that before you said that, but if there's any like outside of work, I guess that would help with. Or like, what about kind of volunteers in policing help?
I don't know how the police volunteers.
Or at least send it out to them, it might be on their days off of volunteering, but that might be another group to reach out to. Volunteers in America.
I don't know, there's not a Volunteers in America on this committee, but I don't know if they're still part of the COC. Kathleen, I see your hand raised.
Fucking sister.
Kathleen, I might have lost you, but we can't hear you. Okay. Well, I will say that I am gonna look at the list of who's registered. I'm obviously getting the materials back out will be helpful. But I will probably be reaching out and asking organizations to commit 10 volunteers, something like that, depending on the size of your organization, and kind of your commitment in your past. And then obviously the law enforcement one, once that gets out as well, we'll kind of gauge what the interest is there. And hopefully get some better numbers. But pushing it, I'd say in the next week or two is really a better idea.
There's a message from.
And reduce panic. Yeah, so Chair Beckman, COC board chair is saying that the COC board members and HLA board members are invited to participate. So that was the constant contact was everybody in the COC, correct?
All registers. Danya has a question.
Danya, I see your hand raised.
It's not really a question. So what kind of, so we're low on volunteers. I guess I can ask the city of Clearwater if they can post it, to see if there's any employees or families of employees if they want to volunteer.
I will say city, Clearwater has always had really good representation. Gabe Para used to lead y'all's training and would do it at the old city hall. I did it with him a couple times.
He's not here anymore. He retired. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. How you
So
guys can
Gabe retired and for the COC I took his spot, but I've never done this before. So I don't think I can train because I've never done it before. On my department, I have 2 other employees that are willing to also volunteer. So there'll be 3 of us in my department, but I can have the form. I could see if my manager can share the information throughout the city to managers and stuff like that for different departments to see if they're willing to volunteer.
Yes, that would be awesome. Blossom, I noticed you registered, but I don't think you've sent it out to the VA yet.
I did send it out. I have a spreadsheet saved. Maybe about 8 people say that they were going to sign up, and a couple said they did already. You didn't see any VA people on there?
Dominique, and you, I don't remember if I saw any of your emails.
Huh.
So quick question, sorry. Do I have to fill out the form as well?
Yes, anybody on the committee, you do still have to register. That's a good point. You still have to register because you have to have a profile and do your availability. And if you registered last year, you still have to register again this year. I know there was an email that I think went out on accident to a large group of people. And that was not a registration for this year. That was before registration went live. Any other comments? I don't want to just keep the meeting for the sake of time. All right, well, hearing none, are we good to, anyone want a motion to adjourn?
I'll do a motion.
Oh, there we go. April taking it down.
I'll second.
And I got Sarah the second. All right, thanks everyone for coming. Appreciate you joining us.
Folks in this room, this number does not match this number. So
Okay.
whoever didn't
Thank
sign
you.
in, sign in. for
I signed it this
please.
time. I'm normally.
I know, usually it is you.
If you're online, it really is me. If you're online, please make sure you put your name in the chat for attendance.
Then they can be part of the club. Full, dang. No, I'll sign Snitch.
And David, I saw your email. Thank you.
Most, yeah.
Yeah.
So with all of. So I know that you